So this is a deadlift. Deadlift, you're basically gonna have the weight on the ground and you pick it up. The idea here is basically keeping this low back as rigid as you possibly can. And the more you need to bend your knees, some people are gonna have a little straighter leg, but we wanna make sure that the chest stays as tall as we can and the back stays flat. Another way you can do this is by going in between the legs, and this is a sumo deadlift. So you widen up the legs and go here. The main thing to look at here is making sure the knee stays tracking out over the toe as you do this. Now you can actually make a really narrow stance or a narrower stance and do kind of a hybrid between the two. It's a narrower stance with the deadlift in the front. This is oftentimes a good compromise to keep a good back position for people who can't go on the outside of the legs, just they don't have that range. The other thing we can do is a suitcase deadlift, which is the same sort of dealio, but with just one arm. So you basically go down here and you try to stay balanced, which is hard because it wants to pull you in the direction of the weight. So keeping it off to the side and doing some lifts there. That's our suitcase deadlift. So this is a good morning. It stands for good morning hamstrings. Basically, you hold the weight either on your chest or on your back, and keeping your legs straight, you go down, maybe put a little soft bend in the knee. You go down until you get a stretch from your hamstrings and then come back up. Now, Cheryl's going down super, super far. This is how you do it on the back. She's going down really far because she has that flexibility through her hamstrings and she can keep that nice rigid back position. Some of us will be going down a much shorter distance, just getting the hamstring there, and you kind of squeeze your butt to stand back up. Now, there's a split stance version of this where you basically go in a split stance and you do the same thing, and it's just gonna shift the stretch a little bit as you do it. So it's just a little bit of a split stance, push the hips back, same sort of dealio. And that is our good morning and the split stance good morning. So this is a push-up, and the different variations of a push-up. Basically, you're gonna look to get your body out nice and flat, good, pretty plank here. You go all the way down to your chest touches the ground, and you press all the way back up to your elbow locks out. Rather than shortening up the range of the push-up, so don't do a half push-up, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go to your knees. You do a push-up where you go to your knees, touch your chest to the ground, come back up. So you make it a little bit easier with where you're holding. Another thing you can do is you can elevate that. You can even go on your knees and elevate it. So go over, she'll show you on the box here. So basically go on your knees, elevate it up, go down until you touch your chest. But the same thing applies. We want the same range of motion. Chest touches the object, elbows lock out at the top. That's our push-up and some variations. So this is a kettlebell swing or a dumbbell swing and a few variations of it. We've got one arm and two arm. We'll start with two arm. If you can swing a dumbbell, you can swing a kettlebell. It's like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. The idea is you basically hold it, straighten your arms. And with a dumbbell, you hold it like she's holding it here, two hands on the inside. And then you put a little bit of a bend in your knees, let the bell swing between your legs, and you pop it up using your hips and legs. This is a Russian version of it, so it goes to about eye level or shoulder level. And then you can do the American version of it where you pop it all the way up overhead. And what you'll notice is a more aggressive hip drive here, not more pull with the arms. So the arms are just kind of along for the ride. Now you can do the same thing with a kettlebell. There's also a one-arm version of this, and the one-arm version of this looks like this. You're basically doing the same thing, but you just do it with one hand. You kind of put the other hand out for balance. Now the big key with one arm or two arm, kettlebell swing or dumbbell, is making sure that this stays flat when you're in the bottom of this. You don't want the shoulders to round in, you don't want the body to collapse, you want the back to stay flat the entire time. That's what you're looking for as you do this. These are jumping jacks. They look like this. Woo! Other countries, they actually call them star jumps. But looks when the feet go out, hands touch, feet come back together, hands touch the side. Those are jumping jacks.